Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Naomi Roberson Show. Today we're going to be talking about the Women's Conference. It was beautiful. It was a success. If you missed it, we're going to show you some more excerpts from that event. But I have here sitting with me is Minister Natalia Moore. God bless you, sister.
God bless you.
And you were a very good speaker, and we just know that, you missed it, that's all. But like I said, we're going to try to bring you up to speed on things. But I just want to talk about some of the feedback that we had. I know I got some calls from different people saying it was just what they needed. And, everybody have a different need, so if you came there, for those who did, and thank you again for being our guest there, you came expecting not what everybody else needed, but what you needed. And if you receive that, that makes it all worthwhile, because that's what it's about. We didn't need the conference. We knew that the people did. So let's talk about some of the comments we have, other than the fact that people were just elated, Yes. What was some of the feedback you got?
A lot of the feedback I got, the women felt like they were really empowered. Okay. We talked about women empowering other women, and as we also talked about how women, we have as African American women particularly, we have so many other races and even African American men that continue to beat us down, but this was such an empowering movement for the women to where they left there feeling so uplifted. And then we also had comments about women who basically felt like they were given tools as to how to empower other women that they encounter on a daily basis.
And one of the points that we made is that women need to learn to submit to one another.
Yes.
We have been taught you submit to men, and it just means reverence. Reverence what means respect.
Respect.
And that's what we have to do with one another. We forget about each other. We can go through so many changes with guys, and then we take it out on our sister. And that shouldn't be. We should be there to support one another. But one of the things especially that I like was that we opened it up for men to attend. And we did have a couple of men, and they said how much they enjoyed it. Now, some of the feedback I got from one of the guys, he was saying how if men would take time to listen to, because we had an open forum.
We did.
And it was open to the floor, everybody could share, and it was wonderful. But he said if men would take the time to listen to these kind of comments that women have, they would understand women better, okay? Because there's no competition.
Yes.
This shouldn't be threatened by anybody.
Right.
We're just here to do what we need to do.
That's right.
And if a man, if this is your mate, you're supposed to be 100% down with him.
That's
and he's
right.
supposed to be 100% down with you. But people get that twisted. They think, well, I'm this and I'm that. No, together you are.
Yes.
But I thought it was a good comment. What other comments did you hear?
Well, the interesting thing about what you just brought up with the men, I got a comment from one of the men too.
Okay.
And the men was saying that this opened up their eyes to show them that there's no competition.
That's right.
And one of the men was saying that if other men had come, they believe that it would have helped them to be empowered as well. That's because it would help them understand a strong black woman. And the fact that she's not trying to take your place. She's actually strengthening herself, and as she's strengthening herself, she's strengthening the relationship as well.
Right. And see, a lot of times men get it twisted. We're not in competition. We're not trying to usurp authority.
Right.
Everything we do as a black woman, a white woman, an Asian woman, a Hispanic woman, whatever, just a woman, we do out of necessity.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't like it, but because we have that nature that we're going to hold it down.
Yes.
That's what we do well. And I spoke on the message of rope holders.
Yes.
And you can get a chance to see that too. We're going to air that piece for you as well. But a rope holder, somebody that's just there to hold it down for you. No one gets to where they are by themselves.
That's right.
Somebody helped them along the way. And we have to remember these people. Sometimes you don't even know who they are. Sometimes you don't even get a chance to choose them. But God sent people to you who can be a blessing to you, and you can't get rid of your blessings by doing people bad. We got to watch how we treat people.
That's right.
And that's one of the key issues. One of the key words. Watch how we treat people, because you never know who's going to do what for you. Right. And we have to stay in that place where we allow God to send people.
That's right.
To us. But I just enjoyed it so much, because even with the open forum again. We threw out the questions. I think we had like 7 or 8 questions. And one of the questions was, why do women want to fight and get upset with the woman that her man was cheating with? he told her, maybe he told her the same lie he told you.
Yes.
But you know, what is that? That's just something that women have been doing for years, and I don't understand it. I really don't.
Right. And that was interesting in the forum, because a lot of women were saying the same thing. I don't understand why a woman would try to go after the other woman, especially there are 2 points. First of all, a lot of times if it's a married man, that man is the one that made the vows to you. That's the one that broke the vows. The other woman did not.
Right.
And secondly, sometimes the other woman doesn't even know that this man has been taken.
Right.
So a lot of times the women are attacking an innocent victim.
Right.
And so we actually talked about that, and it enlightened a lot of women. They were saying, oh yeah, that's right, that's right. So that empowered them to, first of all, know how to treat themselves, and then know how to expect that same treatment from others.
There was one question also, and everything you're saying is just true. I mean, it was just so wonderful how everybody brought everything out.
Yes.
It felt like they had well, it was a spirit of freedom.
Yes,
you know, they were able to just say whatever was on their mind and didn't hold it back. We didn't care about the men being there. We wanted them to hear
Yes.
that, you know, and I wasn't embarrassed by any of it.
No.
I felt great, you know, about it. But there was one question in particular, Minister, that we asked: how do we know when a woman is our friend? And I don't know if we expounded enough on that, because that's a broad subject. And I think some of the things we were saying, one of the things that came to me first was the deepest thing in her has to be the deepest thing in you.
Yes.
The deepest thing in you has to be the deepest thing in her. And I call that love.
Yes.
And integrity, loyalty. Loyalty is high on my list. You know, it's on the list with other things, but loyalty is very important, because if something happened where it kind of puts a wrench, so to speak, in the relationship, do you turn on her?
Good
I mean, what do you think about that? I've seen some rough situations.
Yes, and then I think it goes back to our strength as a person, as who we are too, because if you know who you are, you don't follow the masses.
That's
when
right.
when they're condemning a friend or somebody that you love and that you want to remain loyal to. You don't follow that. You can stand firm and say, you know, this is my friend. And I'm loyal to this person. And if there's an issue with this person,
That's
I'm
right.
going to encourage you to go to that person and not talk behind
right,
that
that's right.
person's back.
Right.
So that was very empowering. Another issue that we had, which was empowering and comical at the same time, was a woman at the conference who mentioned how she had gotten married, she gave her life to the Lord, and her husband was doing her wrong. And she was reading the Bible, started reading the Bible, because she wanted to find out why God hadn't killed him yet.
Okay.
Because he was doing
Oh,
all this
God.
stuff. And she said, I just read through it and said, wait a minute now, he should be dead by now if I'm a child of God. And she said
That's
the more
right.
she read the Bible, the more she began to see herself and some of the things that she was doing wrong. And she said, as she continued to read, she said, oh, Lord, don't get him for this one, because I'm doing this one too. Oh, don't get him for that one. And the Lord just began to show her herself. And that's what we wanted to do at the conference too, is to show us ourselves. So
Right.
we begin to empower ourselves and strengthen ourselves first, and then we can go ahead and assist with strengthening our sisters.
And it was so comical, because I know she was dead serious.
She was.
She was dead serious, but she had to learn. But you know, the Bible says, you know, the sanctified wife will sanctify her husband, and he said, I'll save you and your whole household.
Yes.
And sometimes we forget. See, God, it says, wait on the Lord. He didn't say how long, though. That's the hardest part to me.
Yes.
Is you don't know how long to wait, but you have to wait. He said, when you don't know what to do, stand and stand therefore.
Stand.
And that's really a challenge within itself. That's really a test of your faith. That's really what it is. But listen, we have to take a break, and we'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned. Don't go away. If you have an encouraging story that you would like to share on the Naomi Roberson Show, call us at 312-458-9812. Welcome back to the Naomi Roberson Show. If you just tuned in, I'm talking to Minister Natalia Moore, and we're discussing the women's conference that was just such a blessing
Yes,
to
it
the
was.
women that came. And you know what? I'm always thankful for those who came.
Yes.
And I miss those who didn't show up. But maybe next year, you know, after you look at all these excerpts, you're going to see what you missed. And I just thank God that even for you tuning into this program as well. And if you like a copy of this program, you know, there's some information that will be at the end of the program where you can give us a call and we'll see about getting that to you. But listen, before the break, we were talking about just how do you know when a woman is your friend? And, you know, the whole thing, you know, we were saying about the deepest thing in you should be the deepest thing in her. And sometimes we use that word loosely. You know, we have to stop using words to say we love people when you know you don't. You know, I think I made a comment about that.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest, you know, and you can't get mad at me for being honest, because I was in church one time, and this particular time, you know how people give you a hug and say, I love you, sister. And this woman in particular, I don't know what made me, I know it had to have been God, because I wouldn't have normally said this, but she talked about everybody, and she was mean. And she gave me a hug and said, I love you. And I said, no, you don't. And she looked, you know, but she didn't deny it.
Yes.
Okay, because I was tired of it. You know, and we have to be real.
Yeah.
If you're not real with yourself, you're not deceiving anybody.
That's
really,
right.
because people know, you know. And that was just funny. And I just like, you don't love me. No, you don't, you know. But that's what a friend is about. And I don't see anything wrong with a woman having a close friend.
That's right.
Somebody she can talk to. I don't say tell her all your business and have it on the front news, you know, in the newspaper. Because some people will mess you up.
That's so true.
And people are misusing Facebook. Okay, you don't. That's not what it's for. It's a friendly thing where you can communicate with people all over.
Yes.
And that's what I enjoy about it, you know.
Yes.
And sometimes people are hurt on that on Facebook.
That's right.
You know, but it's not that's not what it was meant for.
Exactly.
And we have to take time to, you know, just if you can't encourage someone, just don't say anything. You know, leave it alone. You know, because even Zechariah the prophet, his mission was to encourage people, to tell people God has a blessing for you.
Yes.
If you just want to submit and yield and do right, I just want to encourage you to know that you got some blessings waiting for you.
That's
and
right.
that's what we have to do with one another. We
Yes.
forget there's a mission and a purpose
Yes.
in all of this. But we're talking about the women's conference for those of you all who missed it, you know, that it was a true blessing to a lot of the women. And I'm just glad that they came out, you know,
Yes.
and if you missed it, you know, you get a chance to come next year.
Yes.
So we just thank God for that. And what are some other points you want to bring up about the conference, something else you may have seen?
Well, something you said very interesting was about a true friend. And one thing that we did have a discussion about at our table is what is a true friend. And we brought out some of the points you said, but also one thing that was brought out is that a true friend is somebody who's willing to tell you when you're wrong,
Right.
and risk
In love.
potentially in love,
Right.
and potentially risk the friendship. But the receiver has to understand too that a true friend is not going to agree with everything you say,
That's right.
but that they're coming to you in love, and you can't be willing to get rid of the friendship because somebody has disagreed with you.
That's
you
right.
have to, the same love that person came to you with is the same love that you should receive what they're saying with.
Exactly.
Whether you agree or disagree, you can disagree with that person and say, I don't agree with what you're saying.
Agree
but
to disagree. Right.
agree to disagree.
Right.
But as true friends, you're going to keep that relationship going.
Right. I always feel, and I've always told people, whether it's friends, family, you know, or we're acquaintances, associates, or becoming friends, I always tell them, if anyone come to you and say anything about me or anything that I said, number one, whatever I said, I will tell you what I said. That's how I am.
Yes.
Number two, get that person and let's talk about it together.
Yes.
You shut that down.
Right.
Because you got some people who just love to lie and gossip and cause confusion. And why do people get jealous of a relationship, just friendship?
Exactly.
What's the deal with that? I didn't grow up like this, so I can't quite understand it. But, and I would like information on that, you know, and if you have some information, you can write us, give us a call. Why are they jealous? Men and women now, we're not ruling out anyone. they get jealous of a relationship that you have with someone else, and you're just being friends. You're just trying to live your life. You're not doing anything but just trying to have fun, you know, and just help one another, and be there, be loyal, be there for ride or die. What's wrong with that?
Right.
You know,
Sometimes they might feel left out. I think I've heard that once, that they feel like this person's going to take all of your time from them, and they're feeling left out. So,
and I've seen that so much most of my life. Even I thought it was a little bitty kid thing, but I found out grown women do it.
Yes,
grown men do the same thing, and I think that's so awful. That's an ugly attribute. It's not even an attribute, but it's an ugly trait in a person's behavior.
It is.
That they would be jealous because you're living your life, you know, and it's not like they're the third wheel, so to speak, but you know, why can't you blend in with them? You know, I believe in salvaging the best of every person's personality. I don't throw people out, you know. I mean, unless they really, really did something negative that just disturbed me, that violated me, was totally against me, then that's when I just say, well, look, you know, this person is not healthy for me to be around, and I would prefer not to. I'll pray for them if I think about it, you know.
Yes.
But right now, I'm gonna pray for me.
Right, exactly.
But some people just, they will destroy. They will destroy. You read a poem that the Lord blessed me to write called Jealous One, and it talks about how people, and I wrote that from a situation, an incident. That's where that came from. It was something that actually happened, and I went home and I said, wow, this is not good. How can these people be jealous of all this hard work that God called me to do in the ministry? And that's when I sat and wrote that, you know, and I just thank God, first of all, for giving me revelation knowledge, because it was healing for me to get over that, because I didn't grow up with a lot of jealousy. I never had to be jealous of anyone. Whatever I wanted, I would ask you, where did you get that from? You know, you tell me. If you didn't, whatever, it didn't matter. But if I needed, if I wanted it, I saved my money to buy it. I didn't envy people and be jealous of people to the point that I wanted to destroy them, because you had a very, very good subject. Your message was haters
and how to slay them.
Right, how to slay them, and you gave the difference between a hater and a jealous person, you know, and I just thought that was so interesting. You all can, you know, check out her message online on Facebook, or you can just ask us for a copy. You'll see it here on the program as well. And it was just something that I know is going to really, really bless you, because a lot of times we don't know the difference between the two. Maybe you could run it through real quick, because we're just about out of time. And just tell us the difference between a hater and a person that's jealous.
Well, a person that's jealous is a person that wants what you have.
Okay.
A hater is a person they don't necessarily want what you have. They just don't want you to have it.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something?
That's evil. That is just evil. To me, it's gangster, it's evil, and it's an abomination against God, because I'm happy for you to see you prosper. Anybody who's prospering, that's good energy for me.
Yes.
And I had to just come to that realization, even when I was younger, much younger. That's a plus.
Yes.
I love to see people prosper, because that's inspiration, isn't it? Everyone is not meant to be a leader and get to the top or wherever they're trying to go, but it's nice to see other people who can, and those are the people we want to push ahead. But listen, is there anything you want to add to this? Because we're just about out of time.
Well, I just want to say the comments were awesome. Everybody had a wonderful time. I did not receive one negative comment. Everything was wonderful. And I'm just so happy that God gave us the opportunity to empower our brothers and sisters. And we also had people there of different ethnicities, women who really felt empowered as they left as well. And we're just really grateful to God for that.
Well, I thank you. I thank you for participating. I thank you for those comments. And I'm asking you to wait for at the end of the program. We're just about out of time, and get the number, or if you want to write us or email us, feel free to do so. And we'd like to have you a part of the Women's Conference next time. But that's all the time we have for now. I thank you for my guest here, Minister Natalia Moore, and thank you for tuning in. God bless you. We'll see you next time.